Hi everyone, my name is Eric Sigman and I wanted to give you a quick video so you can understand what we're trying to accomplish here at the Worldwide History Club. Today I'd like to talk about video games. Video games, you might say? What does that have to do with history? Well, in fact, it actually has a big impact on the technology and how far it has advanced in the last 25 to 30 years. My first recollection of video games was when I was a child in the early 80s. I'd be downstairs in our family room watching one of my classmates, Brian Stubbs' father, and my father playing the original Atari, playing a casino game. Couldn't wait to try and play it myself, but of course, they wouldn't let me because I was too young. So then in 1985, the original NES or Nintendo came out, and it was the thing that everyone wanted, and I couldn't wait to get it. Fortunately, I was lucky enough for my birthday in early 1986 to get it. Boy, was I happy, except for one thing. I didn't get the robot. My grandfather cheaped out on me, but I was still grateful to get the Nintendo. That kept me busy with my brothers, my best friend Bobby Keepers, playing for hours upon hours. I remember there'd be nights when Bobby and I would stay up at his house playing baseball stars, one inning at a time, and he'd fall asleep, and I'd be sitting there at 2 o'clock in the morning in his family's living room playing, and out comes his dad, to get a drink, and he'd look at me, and I'd go, "Yep, still playing." Those were great times, and I couldn't beat them, and that's the biggest thing with Nintendo. But then, Nintendo gave way to Sega, and Sega gave way to the next generation after that, and then eventually you got to Xbox and PlayStation. You know, I never really was a big gamer back then until Xbox came out with Halo. I remember I was living in a house with my best friend Sean Sulte at the time, and his friend, uh, and we were playing Halo. And we would bring over all their friends, and we'd play game after game after game. And of course, I was the worst, but it was all fun and social to be around everyone. And then after that, I got PlayStation, and I was playing all the baseball games and the basketball games and all the simulation games, and that was good. And then when Xbox One came out, it was so hard to get, but I was lucky enough to get one. And I brought it home, I put it on my counter, I sat there overnight, and I woke up in the morning and I said, I haven't touched my PlayStation 3 in years. So why am I going to play Xbox One? So I actually took it back and returned it. Probably the only person in the world to go return an Xbox One when you couldn't get one. But with this COVID disease that has been going around lately, and all this time on my hand, it brought me back to video games. Now, I only have a PlayStation 3 still, since I gave back my Xbox One, but I actually spent some time playing NCAA basketball. '08 with Kevin Durant on the cover. It tells you how outdated my collection is, but still gives me a few hours a day to spend some time trying to get Delaware to win the national championship, which I did accomplish last night. So go Blue Hens. But next year they're going to come out with a new version of PlayStation, a new version of the Xbox, and the graphics, going all the way back to the original Nintendo, where it's very cartoonish and flat, to the lifelike graphics that you see now. The technology is improved so much and so drastically in such a short time that I'm so excited to see what these new systems are going to hold. Maybe, just maybe, I'll update my system. So that's a little quick story about my personal experience with video games. If you have your own, please feel free to share.